All right, we're here with the featured artist for May 2013 on Mettalworx.com. Oceans Will Rise. How are you gentlemen doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Right on. Give us a little history of how the band formed and when that was.
About 2008, Adam and I, this guy here, the pretty one.
That's debatable.
He and I were going to school together. He noticed I was wearing a cool metal band shirt. He was like, I like that band. And I was like, well, you want to hear some songs? He's like, I'm a singer. And he's like, no way. And then that was that. Good story, right?
No.
Yeah, that was very informative. I'm sure your pants
No.
are...
Should have made something up.
No, the best part is like, fucking like 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Thanks, buddy.
Drummers.
I don't talk for a living. I was working at Sobeys and he comes through my line. I'm sitting there just drumming on the cash register. He's like, hey, you drummer? Yeah. Blast? Yeah. Start blasting on the cash register. Need a band? No. You want to be in one? All right. Then I showed up, brought all my stuff down for a audition, but then I was too awesome, so I'm in it now.
No choice.
Cool, right on. Hey, but how many guys can you pick up at a grocery store for a drummer? I should specify, guys. Pick up guys. That was worded totally wrong.
That wasn't Matt's first pickup at a grocery store.
The drummer was a second intention.
Okay, speaking of pretty faces, all right. Now, in the time that you guys have been a band, I mean, like, you've been able to open up for, like, you know, Cancer Bats, Sight for Sewn Eyes, which that should be a pretty good testament just to how good you guys are and how well you guys are coming across. But do you guys kind of, like, stand back and think, holy fuck, like, we've come, you know, quite a ways in that short a period of time?
Right, yeah. When we got the email about opening for Cancer Bats, I didn't really believe it at first.
Yeah.
And I was like, Cancer Bats are coming and we're opening? That's pretty cool. So then I messaged all the other guys. They're like, okay, that sounds good. Sounds good. But
My response was like, seriously? Yeah. Oh, all right, whatever.
yeah.
It's kind of unreal at some point. Yeah, actually opening up. I've seen Cancer Bats every time they've come here, and it's kind of weird to open up for them.
And see your name on the poster. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right on. Now, you guys play both the bar scene and as well as like the all ages, the pavilion shows, and not a whole lot of bands are able to, you know, reach that. What do you think it is about your sound or your style that's able to reach the younger crowd and the older crowd?
His voice. He can sing pretty.
I think we kind of bridge the gap for a lot of the kids between their heaviest and the softest music they may listen to. I think we're kind of a good gateway drug into the heavy scene for some of the kids that are just getting into it. Maybe not as extreme as some. So.
On the other side, it's soft enough for guys that are not into heavy stuff too much to be like, we're the heavy band for them. And that's more the bar scene. And you get a couple drinks in them, we're raging out, and we're having a party. Like, as you saw tonight, like, I caught 2 people with my forehead. But the show goes on.
Yeah, that's a good night.
It's a good one.
Now, speaking of like doing both the screaming / growling and the singing, are you surprised that more local bands aren't going with that approach?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, I can't speak for them. It just kind of was the music that we were into at the time. So, you know, it always meant more to us than the typewriter death metal sort of stuff. But that's just our opinion, right? Like, we appreciate all the heavier bands than us, and we appreciate the lighter bands than us. There's never really an intention going into it. We just settled into our sound pretty quickly, and we enjoy it. So.
Just basically maximize the talents of everybody in the band.
Yeah, essentially. We play off everybody's strengths, and it seems to work out.
Nice. Now, when you guys are writing, you know, I guess you just answered this, you know, like, do you kind of make sure that there's going to be the singing part, or you just kind of go with it? If it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not.
I'll bring a lot of ideas and riffs to the table. Maybe even a full composition without lyrics or vocals written already. So, you know, that might start out that way. Might have a couple riffs, might pull from other guys and bring it all together. But it's kind of like an orchestrated mess, right? So the general theme kind of gets developed, and then you can hear the harmonies developing within chaos. and then that's where we extract it, and then all of a sudden you've got these beautiful epic moments, or if that's our intent anyway. But as long as he's singing in
Talking
it.
herself up there.
Well, no. There'd be a lot of lonely women if he wasn't in the band not listening to us. So, however, it's a part of those two worlds that we both really love. And, I came from death metal, and Adam's got a lot more of the melodic side. Like, it just spreads right across. Yeah.
Now, your first album, Angels and Arsonists, has been out for, what, almost a year now?
July.
When may we see a second full-length release from you guys, or some sort of new release?
How many songs do we have in the work now?
5.
That was my next question, actually.
No, there you go. We always come up with a new song, and then there's somewhere between 5 and 10 songs just kind of in the ether.
Floating around.
We have ideas. I got 5 finished, and
I think we've become a little more critical of ourselves, a little more perfectionists since we've listened to our own stuff so much.
But isn't that how a band grows? Like, you kind of
I
evaluate
think
and think,
so.
okay, we need to kind of beef this
Yeah.
element up or something else.
You can't keep doing the same thing. You're just beating a dead horse. So you got to kind of, I wouldn't say you have to reinvent yourself, but you have to keep pushing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're not, then you're not.
Yeah, then you're not growing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd say it's also good that we all come from such different musical influences for the most part that we all have different ideas of where it goes, and we can always come out like, that doesn't sound quite right, and then kind of it's coming together a little better.
So how is the chemistry then if everybody's that far crossed? Like, everybody kind of has a mutual understanding of how the band somewhat should be, so everybody works within that?
Well, me and Sean don't get along at all. At all. Like, I'm having trouble standing here next to him without punching him in the face.
But before we started the interview, there was a question of smell too, so...
He's quite familiar with my smells.
Yeah.
I think it's an overall objective that we share, to accomplish whatever we can do at its greatest for that moment. And whether it be a fast song, slow song, whatever, like we as he says, just we analyze it, and maybe we won't just settle on anything anymore. Not to say that we settled on anything previously, but as we all know, when we start a new project, we're so stoked on anything that's coming out that we're just like, all right, new song.
Yeah.
And now it's just kind of like pumping the brakes a little bit and working on things.
I mean, for Angels, we wrote the songs that are on the album. And I think this time we're probably going to be a little more picky and choosy about what goes on the album. Yeah,
Right
so
on.
hopefully it'll be a better product because of that. So.
Yeah. Now, you've been actually working with, I know, at least one other band on, helping them record an album. Is that something that you kind of like to do off to the side, do more studio work on?
Yeah, Halifax isn't the greatest for money in that department, but it would be a dream. It would definitely be a dream to be able to do that for a living. So basically, when I released the album, I did all the mixing, the recording, and mastering, and I kind of wanted to put it out there. And you want to keep it down? We're very important.
We do have microphones, but please.
So selfish over there. My God.
Basically, it was just kind of like another offering for mixing in Halifax for heavy music.
Right on. Okay, just a couple questions left. Now, you guys actually just started something called Halifax Loud. A couple members of you.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. Can you tell us what that is?
Me and Matt started basically a music e-zine for e-zine. E-zine.
Electronic magazine.
This guy. For Halifax, for the metal, the rock, the hardcore, the hard rock scene. We're just hoping to expose people to bands they might not have heard before and spread some of the news they won't get. See, the problem with social networking, Facebook and stuff, is if you don't like a band, then you won't get their info. You won't find out about that band.
Yeah, and also if you don't pay the $5 or whatever it is, then they still won't see it.
Yeah. But there's no broadcast really of the bands in the area, so we're kind of hoping to turn this into that sort of thing where people can discover new music and get out to the shows more and kind of drive the industry within Halifax and make it bigger than it is.
Awesome. Right on. So how do you guys feel about the Halifax scene in general?
It's diverse. It is very diverse, and it is.
Which isn't a bad thing.
It's a stronger thing than ever. I remember about 10 years ago, there were a couple death metal bands, and they would play every weekend somewhere. And it was either Stage 9, which was later Coconut Grove, or the Pavilion. That was it. That's all you had for like the heavy scenes.
And even before that, there used to be the Attic, but then that went down.
Yeah, and that was, but it was great. I mean, like there was a real connection between the people and the environment, and obviously the bands as well too. But over the years, there's more like hardcore developing out of it, and indie was a huge thing that came up in the last 10 years, obviously, as well, too. So, I mean, no matter what kind of style of music that's being cranked out of Halifax, there's a scene supporting it 100%, and it is a strong scene. Yeah, it's wonderful.
And I know we've put on shows, and you know, like say Red Tentacle would be putting on a show the exact same night, and both shows would have strong turnouts. You know, and not a lot of smaller cities like Halifax can say that.
Yeah, you're definitely right.
Okay, so what's next for the band?
Gonna take a shower.
Heading home, yeah.
Yeah. Driving home for an hour. I don't know. Calendar?
Like a fireman's calendar?
Ocean to our eyes calendar, ladies.
Every month is shown.
Yeah.
Why am I the sex appeal and the eye candy of the band? I get roped into all this.
We'll pay them to take it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
More music.
I think probably just settle down, and we've had like a lot of shows over the past couple of months, so I think probably settle down more, get more into writing stuff, so we can have another full-length release sometime soon.
Whole rehearsals and decide what you guys want to do for the next album.
We're having a lot of fun playing these shows, but I think we'd like to play some new music soon. So
Yeah, lots of cuddling.
there is a lot of cuddling.
Well, I mean, what we saw tonight was a great example of the energy you guys bring and the great music that you guys do. So we're definitely looking forward to the next album whenever that appears.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. We
Yeah.
appreciate that. That's awesome.
Right on. So Mettalworx, Oceans Will Rise.